Welcome back, pals. I hope everybody's had a good week. This week I just wanted to cover, do sort of like one last video in the sort of like prep and get ready for tooling series. And then next week we'll do a tool along video for this little kind of skull and crossbones. I know there's been a few people asking for that. But yeah, I'm just going to go over my process, everything I do to sort of get ready. I love using Procreate. I'm not going to do a tutorial about how to do that because I don't really know. I'm a button masher at best. I'm self-taught. I figured out how to draw, resize, blah, 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 whatever. Just a really great tool. You can add and subtract elements really easily. It's good for resizing stuff. I've just found it very, very useful. So we're just going to print out our little pattern there, and I'll show you how to transfer it onto your cased leather. And if you're still wondering about how to do that, the video from last week covered how to properly case your leather. So once I have my pattern all printed out, I like to just trim it down. I use the remaining paper for little doodles, or I'll just like toss it in the recycling or whatever. Anyways, just to make sure it's going to fit on the piece of leather that I've selected. So if this was to be, the front of a little card slip or something, just that it's not hitting too close to the edge where your stitches are going to go through. I prefer not to have stitch lines going through tooling. Some people do. It's totally chill. I've done it. It totally happens. Not a big deal, but I do like to just kind of like fuss around a little bit, make sure it's going to fit where I want it, that it's the size that I want it to be. And once I'm satisfied and ready, like this looks fairly good. Again, this is a piece of cased leather, so we'll be tracing our pattern onto there. I use this thin, it's like a plastic-based film. The nice thing about this is you can use it more than once. You can use it quite a few times, actually. I like to save it just for archival purposes. I have like a whole little notebook just full of the stencils that I've made. This stuff, I don't exactly know where it came from. It came with, like a bunch of leather stuff I'd purchased. I believe it's I've seen it at Buckskin Leather where I shop. I'm sure you can find it online. You can use it. Sometimes it's called vellum. It's available at art supply stores, I guess. But anyways, I have a big roll of this. This is what I use. I've seen a few different methods. I've also seen some people, like use saran wrap on they'll saran wrap their piece of leather, and then they'll just use their paper pattern over top of that. Personally, and this isn't to like diss on anyone, I prefer not to. Just saran wrap, it's quite wasteful. It's just a one-time thing. I guess you could probably stretch it out and use it again, but it's not something we keep in the house, and so I don't care to buy it specifically for leathercraft, especially when I've already got, sort of a method that that works for me. Again, you can also just go straight from your piece of paper. I have found though sometimes, if it's a larger pattern or something a little more intricate, the paper will tear just because, your leather is damp, obviously not soaking wet, but damp. For something like this that is pretty low detail, I would definitely say it would be totally fine to go from paper straight to leather. And so as you can see, I just use a little Sharpie, just do a quick little trace of this. And that's it. Super, super easy. And we're ready to go. So once you have your stencil all ready, you're going to position it where you would like it to sit. This piece of scrap that I grabbed is actually large enough for a card holder, so I think I'll be saving it for that. We'll save this for next week. I'll do a tool along of this little skull guy. Just for the sake of the video, and most everybody's got a pen at home. I do enjoy using a pen to trace it a little bit more, because that way you can really see which lines you've gone over. You want to make sure that when you're doing this, you're getting all of your lines. You're not letting your pattern kind of run away on you. Sometimes if it's a really big one, I'll tape it over the face of the leather to the back side. You don't really want to be putting any sort of tape. Yeah, so that's what happens when you live in a house that still has a landline in it. Anyways, back to it. You know, you can use pattern weights here. You don't really want to be taping to this flesh side here because it will pull and leave like kind of a weird mark. For the most part, it's better just to hold it down. Or like I said, if you're going to use tape or anything like that, tape it around to the back side. And I like to just do a little check, you know, midway through. This is a very small, easy one, so there's not the potential to miss too much. But I do like to just give it a little lift and make sure I've gotten everything traced out, so I don't have to try and re-register a stencil with the leather piece. So I'm pretty happy with that. As you can see, it's left a nice guideline for us to come in and start doing our swivel cuts next. I know this has been a very short video. Again, like I said, I just want to start building like a little bit of a resource just so we don't have to do these at the beginning of every video, but check back next week and we will do a full tutorial on how to tool this little skull, and I'll get into maybe some dyeing versus painting and antiquing and things like that. But thank you for tuning in. I very much appreciate your support, and I'll catch you in the next one.